Cześć, Luluś. Baw się dobrze. No dobra. Ciekawe, co to dzisiaj wyjdzie. No, muszę być ciszy jeszcze. Oj. Dobra, już jestem. Co my mieliśmy tu zrobić?
It's locked, all right.
Tu mamy zamknięte, sprawdźmy na mapie. Tu i tu kawał drogi przed nami. W lewo trzeba by było skręcić. Teraz w prawo. Tu lecimy. Dobra, tam mamy dwójkę. Okej, jesteśmy na miejscu prawie.
You are blinded by your false faith.
Panie, kim ty jesteś?
Forgive my interruption.
Do not apologize, my son.
Mój
Father
syn.
Tobias
Jasne.
Whittaker is always happy to teach mortals about the incoming Armageddon.
I am Dr. Jonathan Reed, and I just have a few questions.
A scientist? You are much more lost than I thought, my son.
Dobra, zaczynamy standardowo od życia w Londynie.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences, and most of them can't see the plain truth.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know? Blinded by science as I am.
But you are seeking answers, aren't you? Answers about the Armageddon about to strike the city. Answers about the hidden truth.
Odbiera.
I am. But the answers I seek are based on facts, not superstition. What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences, and most of them can't see the plain truth.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know? Blinded by science as I am.
But you are seeking answers, aren't you? Answers about the Armageddon about to strike the city. Answers about the hidden truth.
Well, I suppose I can spare a few minutes listening to your so-called truth.
As a doctor, you must be aware of the decimating epidemic. But let me tell you that this so-called Spanish flu is just the beginning of the end.
What do you mean?
The beast is finally revealing itself, corrupting the flesh and the heart of men. With my own eyes, I've seen them, those minions from the abyss.
Really? And what would be your answer to this biblical threat?
We must fight the disease
Biblijna
before this
pada
legion
jasno.
outnumbers us. But not with scalpels and microscopes. No,
What is left then?
cleansing fire.
A, podpalmy wszystko.
Tell me, Tobias, what exactly is your plan concerning the cleansing of this
Cześć,
city?
Lordzik.
God will recognize his own. More than once this city has risen from the ashes, hardened and purified by the flames.
Purification by fire has proved useful, but where do you stop? Burn the clothes? The buildings? The corpses? Worse?
Your lack of faith is predictable. But my task is to convince rational minds like yours to see the light. This is God's will.
You're
Jasne.
mad and dangerous. You're nothing but a soulless butcher, a small-time Torquemada, the Savonarola of Whitechapel.
My son, if you think salvation is a free gift, go listen to the lies of that pompous fool, Joseph.
Joseph, a fool.
Vicar Larrabee of St. Mary's Church. While he continues preaching his fraudulent redemption, more and more people die in the streets.
Kolejna wskazówka.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences, and most of them can't see the plain truth.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you
Moderatorzy.
ask me. But what do I know?
Gadanie samo.
Blinded by science as I am.
But you are seeking answers, aren't
A
you?
dla mnie zbawienie.
Answers about the Armageddon about to strike the city. Answers about the hidden truth.
Well, I suppose I can spare a few minutes listening to your so-called truth.
As a doctor, you must be aware of the decimating epidemic. But let me tell you that this so-called Spanish flu is just the beginning of the end.
What do you mean?
The beast is finally revealing itself,
Znowu to samo?
corrupting the
Czemu
flesh
nie
and the
zrobiłaś
heart of
tego,
men.
Szaro?
With my own eyes I have seen them, those minions from the abyss.
I have heard enough. Goodbye.
Żegnamy reklamy. Z panem sobie pogadałam. Co my tu mamy?
Soon the time will come when you will all be judged for your sins. Even
Coś mi tu
now
mrygało?
he judges your words and
Tu
actions.
mamy wzrokowe, dobra. Sobie pogadajmy jeszcze z tym facetem. Bum.
The disease upon us is
Excuse
not
me,
an
sir. Are you
accidental
familiar with this
feature.
part of town? Name's Clayton Darby, reporter.
Sorry, I'm
Ooh,
new
dzień.
to Whitechapel. But perhaps you could help me since you're a journalist. My name is Jonathan Reed.
Dr. Reed, the famous surgeon. I'll gladly help if I'm able, sir.
Na razie to.
What is a journalist doing in this borough after sunset?
He goes where none of his colleagues would dare to go, to inform the country.
So you risk your life
Ciekawa
to
jestem,
reveal
kto
the
jest
truth.
ze mną?
I saw many reporters do the same during the war.
Whitechapel is the crucible of so many untold stories and tragedies. I want people to know them.
O, coś nowego mamy.
That's quite honorable of you. But is the public interested?
Not at all, sir. And that's why I'm an independent journalist, hoping to sell some stories.
Dobra.
Why are the newspapers keeping silent about the Spanish influenza? It's as though none of you care.
There's a war going on. People shouldn't be demoralized by news of deadly diseases.
one stops it, this epidemic could turn into a scourge. It may kill more people than the war itself.
Yes, this is another kind of war, but just as deadly. History will judge us all for what we did and what we did not.
Okay.
Have you any idea of the danger you face in these streets at night?
I've had to run and hide more than once from frenzied mobs incensed by the fever. Do you think the flu is really responsible for this, Doctor?
Ojku, i znowu mamy wybór.
I must confess, some of my rational views have been shaken by recent events.
I'll remember to stay away from the district's roughest streets then.
Potrzebujemy wskazówki, no to...
I heard you're investigating an underground medical dispensary in Whitechapel. What do you know about it?
Not much, I'm afraid. They are wary of strangers, and I'm not really an acquaintance of theirs. Why do you care?
I'm afraid one of the nurses from the Pembroke Hospital may be involved with unsavory activities.
Ah, could it be Dorothy Crane?
Without a doubt, you are a damn fine journalist, Mr. Darby. What do you know of her accomplice, a man named Darius?
I don't know much about the man. He's very cautious. Never goes out. Doesn't seem to have any friends or family.
He never goes out.
No. A few days ago, he unexpectedly did. I followed him, but it was just a ruse to keep me away from his house.
Really? How do you know?
He went to the nearest mailbox, but just before posting his letter, he ripped it up and threw it away.
He has no relatives at all?
No, except for that strange man, a poet named Richard Nethercott, who sometimes comes by. Darius would never let him in.
Where can I find this Mr. Nethercott?
He spends most of his time lurking around Whitechapel, talking to himself or declaring verses. These days, you can usually find him behind the church.
Za kościołem, okej. A czy za kościołem przeważnie nie było cmentarzy? Ja, no to żegnamy.
Goodbye, Mr. Darby. Farewell.
Okej. To sobie z panem porozmawiam. Matka. Okej. Trzeba się dostać za kościół. Co to ma być? Gdzieś przy tym. Pozostańcie w domach, grypa. Nic mi to nie dało, no ale cóż. Skrzynkę pocztową i list. Mamy. Cześć, Crazy.
The content of Darius' letter to his children could give me more leverage to enter.
Pogadajmy sobie z panią.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed. I'd like to ask you a few questions. I know what you're thinking. A tall stranger who meets a girl in the street at night. It reeks of the penny dreadfuls. But I mean you no harm, truly. I know you understand what I'm saying. Your silence has nothing to do with you being mute, does it? Melia, I know you work for Dorothy Crane. Please tell me about her secret dispensary. A stubborn and mute comrade. Nurse Crane and Darius Petrescu have been clever.
To się
Very well.
dowiedziałam.
Goodbye then.
A chwilę, mogłam mnie może sprawdzić.
Hello again, miss.
Dobra. Zdrowa.
You don't seem to need my medical attention for now.
Dobra. Żegnamy.
Very well. Goodbye then.
Aha, ten kwiatek już sobie zbadaliśmy. Dobra. Dobra. Dalej czego jest? Coś dużo tych bukiecików. Dobra, jakieś sprężyny mamy. Teraz. Poszło, dobra.
I cannot
Nie,
enter.
nie podoba mi się to. Może od drugiej strony? Tu nie przejdę. Jest zamknięte. No to spróbujmy z drugiej strony. Tu przyblokowane. Biegamy, biegamy. Może tu coś po drodze. Znajdziemy.
I'm cheap and I'm
You are blinded by your false faith.
You look so pale, my lord. Would you like me to... Pay me a glass and I'll be
A
gentle.
ty kim
Pay me a
jesteś,
bottle.
kobito?
Don't be shy, handsome. What can Christina do for you?
I'm not looking for what you're selling. But I'd like to ask you a few questions, if I may. I'm a doctor. Dr. Reed.
All right then, but be quick. Though I usually get paid when I open my mouth.
O, nie powiem kim ona jest. Środek na zmęczenie, dobrze.
Christina, have you been examined? The epidemic is spreading fast in London, and you could be exposed, or expose others.
I don't like doctors or hospitals, but I don't like you asking questions.
Considering your line of work, I assure you it is only a matter of time before you have health issues.
If it is going to happen, it will happen. Right now, I need money. That's what's important.
You can put your own life in danger, that's your decision. But what about your clients? If you're contaminated, you will put them in danger too.
And you think that would worry me? If you knew the men I deal with, their health would not be what you'd worry about.
Clayton Darby claims he will expose the crisis in Whitechapel to all
Warto
of
rozmawiać z
London.
ludźmi.
Do you
To
believe him?
wskazówek
I
daję.
believe Clayton's courage will erode with time, until he finally leaves Whitechapel to start another fight somewhere else.
Why this skepticism?
How can you speak about starvation if you've never been hungry? Or about poverty? Or anything else you have never suffered from?
Are you talking from experience?
I've seen your type come here to get a good fuck in a cheap room or a dark alley before going back to their fancy houses in the West End.
Dobra. To było twoje życie w Londynie, to teraz osobiste.
Tell me about yourself.
Are you joking with
Cześć,
me?
Kasia.
People don't usually come to see me for conversation.
I have no interest in your work. I am, however, curious as to what led you into this career.
Short story. The war, exile, and England. This country is not especially welcoming. I've been refused many jobs because of where I am from. I had few options left.
I'm sure you could have found another job, perhaps less lucrative. Maybe you should try again.
And when exactly was the last time you looked for a job? Or worried about the rent, or what, or when you were going to eat?
Dobra.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? Anything you can tell me about her would be helpful.
I don't know her, but I know her name is Dorothea Crăciunescu. She came from Romania like me and many others.
You seem to respect her.
Dorothea helps the sick people of Whitechapel. Everyone should respect that.
Jeszcze? Nic nam nie odblokowała. A, to złośliwa.
Goodbye, miss.
Ej, nie.
Take care of yourself as best you can.
Przecież ona jest
Good evening,
zmęczona.
Change your mind, Mr. Reed?
Wiem.
Do you need any assistance, Miss Popper?
It depends on the price of your medicine.
I am shocked that you would think I am that sort of man.
Forgive my suspicion. I'm so used to liars with good manners. Thank you, sir.
Nic mi nie dała dodatkowego. No trudno.
Goodbye,
Ale
miss.
kolejny
Take care of
członek
yourself as best you can.
dzielnicy wyleczony. Dostaliśmy punkty. Dobra. Stuk, stuk. O, tędy możemy przejść. Choć boję się, że na końcu trafi się znowu jakiś trudny dziad, gdzie pół live'a będę się bić. Okej. Już ich słyszę. Ale nie widzę. A, tu jest. O, jeszcze jeden. Rusz się. Aż trzech? No nie. No rusz się. O kurde, ledwo żyjemy. Nie. Zabił mnie. No niestety, Kasia. Ja nie umiem walczyć. Zresztą nie lubię walczyć. I to jest mój najgorszy problem. Ale wiem, że już jest 3. Trzech typów nie będzie bić. Buf. Tylko skąd ten trzeci? Skąd oni się tam wzięli? Chodź za mną, chodź. Przejdźmy się. Troszkę dalej od tamtych. No co za łotr. Nie ruszył się? No, teleportował się. Gdzie na mnie skacze? Piknie. 3 za mną. To teraz wiem, że mogą się pojawiać też znikąd. To miniować? Też niby. Nic tu nie ma. Jeszcze jest. Gdzie my mamy iść? Tędyk. Pewnie ten Richard będzie coś jak boss. Mówiłam, że za kościołem będzie cmentarz.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions.
Please be my guest. Although I may not be the best informant regarding this part of town,
Ciekawe
my
jest z tym,
words
jakim
speak
cudem on
about
tam
that
wlazł
which the eyes
i go
cannot
wampirki nie
see.
dopadły.
Really? Are you an artist of some kind?
I'm a poet, sir. Richard Nethercott, at your service.
Seer. Aha.
May I ask what you're doing at this hour of night, sir? Do you live here?
Not at all. I'm just enjoying the pleasure of a quiet walk. Though night talks are always preferable, if you ask me. Especially with strangers.
But are you not afraid of the epidemic?
Oh, why should I? I see some equity in the Spanish flu. No flesh should be saved, say the scriptures. Good or evil, rich or poor, all are equal in the eyes of the flu.
If you say so. But as a physician in a time of epidemic, I must caution you to avoid unnecessary exposure, sir.
Thank you, Doctor. But we both know the seeker of truth has to go boldly where the weak dare not.
What are your thoughts on the terrible situation in the city?
Terrible, you say? No. Of course, the death of so many innocents is a tragedy. But the scourge has not been all bad for the city. Oh, no, sir.
What are you talking about?
Do you remember London before the flu? Noisy, cacophonic, quiet nowhere to be found. And now, listen to this oddly peaceful silence.
Idealnej ciszy nawiedzony.
Peaceful. That's quite an unusual way to speak about the epidemic. And very inappropriate, I must say.
Most people fail to understand my perspective. I don't blame them. But how could I call myself a poet if I veiled my feelings?
Are you aware that your life could be in danger in this part of town?
But this is where I must be to feel the real beat of the city. I had to come, see it for myself, alone.
I understand your need for solitude, but it's not safe around here.
I don't care. I don't have many friends, Doctor, and my family despises me.
If some misfortune came upon you, who would be here to help you?
Well, you for a start, my dear Doctor.
Sprawdźmy. O, przeziębiony pan jest.
May I ask you a few questions about the district?
Extraordinary part of town, is it not? I'll be glad to help you, if I
Żeby
can.
było kilka trochę tych środków zrobić.
I'm looking for Dorothy Crane, a nurse who lives in this vicinity.
Dorothy Crane. Oh, I love the name. The Crane of Whitechapel. Sounds very mysterious. But, sorry, no, never heard of her.
O nie, ale o Dariusie już
What can you
słyszał.
tell me about an old man called Darius?
Darius Petrescu. Yes, I know him. At first, I thought he was only a small publisher. I invited him to publish my work, but his reaction was pretty clear.
Not interested in your talent?
Darius is an old political activist who takes delight in printing tracts and lampoons. Those communist activities only require mediocre writing skills.
No dobra, mamy kolejną wskazówkę.
Tell me, Mr. Nethercott, why seek inspiration in Whitechapel?
The place is not beautiful per se, but how to explain it? Stirring and challenging.
Domyślam się, że gra nie jest zbyt interesująca do oglądania.
Do you not think it a little morbid?
On the contrary, sir, Whitechapel is full of life, full of beauty. Just like my dear muse, the wonderful Camellia.
What can you tell me about Camellia?
Not much, and that's the beauty of it. She can't speak, you know. She's a locked mystery who exhales kindness and sweetness.
O, i zakochany w Kameli.
Perhaps you're just afraid to find out the truth about your muse.
One day, perhaps, I'll ask her to come with me. But will she still be my wild flower of Whitechapel if she moves uptown?
And have you ever tried to learn more about her? Where she lives? How she survives? Whom she may know?
Maybe I prefer she remains an
No
enigma.
jak na razie widzę,
Reality
że
can
ta
be
gra
so dull,
głównie
don't you think?
polega na gadaniu, a mniej na walce. Chociaż jak trafimy znów na jakiegoś mocniejszego, to jest problem dla mnie z kolei.
In what way exactly?
The struggle by gaslight, the barren smiles and the added hunger under the rain.
If you say so.
Such vibrant
Ale
antagonism
miło,
and
Kasia, że
vivid
jeszcze jesteś ze
paradox.
mną.
The stripped humanity raged across each street.
Vivid, of
Bo
course.
odnoszę wrażenie,
Yes.
że jestem sama.
And what about the poignant distress?
Oh yes, the poignant distress. You see what I mean, don't you? That's what I want to write about, and that's what Whitechapel is made of.
Dobra, wróć. O, mamy.
Did you know the mute florist is a member of a secret society?
No, I didn't. But I thank you for this information, sir. For it
No
only
tak.
enriches the mystery
40
surrounding the
minut
precious
albo i
Camellia.
więcej, zależy jak mi pójdzie, tak?
Are you not curious? Is there not more you wish to know?
That girl has not an ounce of malice in her. Whatever she may be hiding, it's certain to be for the benefit of most, if not all.
I fear you are a
Beznadziejny z ciebie
hopeless
romantyk.
romantic, Mr. Nethercott.
Guilty as charged, Dr. Reed.
Dobra. Sprawdźmy. Coś doszło? Nie mamy nic. To teraz tak.
Do you need
Zadanie.
medical attention, sir?
It may be wise to let you
O, 5
prescribe me
osób, a
something.
raczej 4, bo jedno miejsce
I
nie.
don't feel like I should.
Podaj lekarstwo.
I understand your appetite for words and macabre beauty, sir. But you should be more careful.
The nutrition of my mind is more important than my
No,
physical
ja na
health.
tym live więcej
But
wypiję
I
niż zazwyczaj.
appreciate your concern, sir.
Nic nie doszło, nic. Dobra. Dziękujemy panu.
I'll leave you alone, sir.
Darius is a bit less of a mystery now. It should not be that
Aha, tu mamy iść. Trochę daleko.
difficult to incite him
Ale
to
blisko
let me in.
kryjówki, więc może
Oh, Camellia, the silent
coś
flower.
na tym cmentarzu będzie dla nas.
Angel made flesh, I tell you.
Bo nie przyjrzałam się wcześniej. Idziemy w ogóle w drugą stronę, żeby odblokować drzwi pozamykane.
Whitechapel is not just disease, desertion and despair.
Celtycki krzyż. Dobra, tu coś jest do zabrania. Wszelkie środki nam się przydadzą. O. Wymowa z wydawnictwa. Nic nie mamy.
Morbidity can breathe its own beauty and grace. Whitechapel is not just disease, desertion.
Dobra, tu są te schody.
Silent flower of Whitechapel. Angel made flesh, I tell you.
Dobra, mamy je odblokowane. Coś tu jeszcze mamy? Lubię zakamarki sprawdzać. Dobra. To lecimy prosto. Okej, tu i zaraz czas
You look so
skręcić.
pale, my lord. Would you like me to revive you?
Can't you just look the other way this week, Joe? Come on, we can sort it out, right? It's not
Dobra, pogadajmy jeszcze z nimi.
Excuse me, sir. I have a few questions for you.
another journalist. I didn't answer the first one, so piss off.
I'm not a journalist, I'm a doctor.
A doctor, you say? It's quite a rare breed in this part of town.
Really? But still, here I am. Dr. Jonathan Reed, at your service.
I'm Joe Peterson to some, but Colossus Joe to most. And I don't remember asking for your service, sir.
May I
Co
ask
ty
what you do around here?
I do whatever I want, and sometimes even
Pewnie
more.
dzierga na drutach.
Sod off.
According to you, physicians are scarce in this part of town. Why is that?
Not familiar with this neighborhood, are you? I guess your fancy colleagues are too afraid of being stabbed in the back.
This part of town does have quite a reputation. Would you say it's justified?
Totally. Look at me, for instance. I always look my opponent in the eye before knocking him out.
W ogóle sprawdźmy. Zdrowe niby. Tak, to było życie w Londynie, osobiste. Nie mamy nic.
Have you heard of a nurse named Dorothy Crane? She's a colleague of mine and is supposed to live around here.
Dorothy Crane.
Zakaszle się
Yeah, I
chyba
know her.
dzisiaj.
One of the few good souls who dare to help the sick around here.
Could you please tell me more about her?
She's a nice girl. Tries to help the migrants. I offered to give her a hand, but she said my reputation would attract too much attention.
Nie mamy nic, dobra, zróbmy.
Can I offer you my medical expertise, Mr. Peterson?
The name is Colossus Joe.
Kolos.
I don't get sick.
Okej. musiała hipnozy zacząć używać. I potem będzie ciężko.
Cheap price, good quality. Welcome, sir. Please take a browse of my wares.
I am Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few
Jaki on
questions if you
śmieszny.
don't mind.
Doctor? Interesting. I'm Barrett Lewis. Usually I don't have time to waste with talk, but at this hour of the night I can hardly refuse.
O, dobijmy targu. Nie, dzięki. Targu nie dobiję. Handel.
How is business around here?
Business?
Czy
I have no business. Between this racket, theft, and customers getting scared, I'm losing money every day.
I see. Sounds like you blame someone in particular for your situation.
It's no secret Joe Peterson spends his time harassing merchants. But with me, he's trying to put me out of business once and for all.
Okej, mamy nową wskazówkę do tamtego typa.
As a merchant, you see Whitechapel every day. Have you noticed anything out of the ordinary recently?
What you mean besides the epidemic, the war, and all the usual crap? As long as I can remember, this part of town has been a bottomless pit, and no sign of the bottom yet.
Violence is increasing in the borough.
Yeah. A few nights ago, some blokes jumped me. Came out of one of the condemned workshops.
O Jezu.
Fever, madness, something like that.
Where did this happen? Why did you go there?
In the closed workshops nearby. I worked there as an apprentice in better days. Now I only go to find trinkets or tools. Too bad I was mugged, though. There was good money in that little box of loot I lost.
Have you been hurt?
No, but that's only because I
No,
ran like
wysiłek
hell.
mamy.
Those men were raving lunatics, I tell you. Not even able to speak anymore, just screaming.
Okej. Tu wskazówki.
Have you heard of a
Szukamy.
nurse called Dorothy Crane?
Nurse Crane. So the bitch really is a nurse, then? Always thought she was just some crafty foreigner, that one.
So she's trying to help her fellow immigrants. Why would that make her a villain?
Dorothy Crane ain't even a real name. Something like Dorothea Craniu. Something like that. Came to England fleeing the war, I was told.
That doesn't explain why she irritates you so much.
Your precious Nurse Crane gives away medical supplies and prescriptions for free. I offered to sell it for a fair cut, but no. Miss Crane wanted to play the quiet saint.
Kolejna wskazówka. Nic nam się nie odblokowało. Dobra.
Do you need help, sir?
I only need you to purchase something from my shop, sir.
Ha, na pewno. O, 1-4, no. Kiszka.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Lewis.
Moim błędem było to właśnie, że nie robiłam hipnozy na ludziach.
I should never have taken up my father's business.
Tu mamy jeszcze jakieś... A to ten. Może coś u niego nowego będzie
You
można
again.
powiedzieć? Nie ma? O, jest.
How did you become the local bully everyone is afraid of, Joe?
There's no pride in roughing up poor bastards. But this is the only job I've found. And it pays well, too.
A job? So you're racketeering for someone else?
I got enlisted by the Wet Boot Boys, a gang from the docks. I'm their muscle for their dirty work.
Znów ten mokry kalosz.
Most people don't become thugs when unemployed. This is a choice you made.
I don't care what you think, sir. I do what I have to do for my own reasons, and that's that.
I'm not sure Mr. Lewis would agree with your by all means necessary philosophy, sir.
Oh, do you really think he's the poor victim here? Barrett can be as sneaky as anyone. Long ago, I even called the bastard my best friend.
Okej. Może wrócimy do tamtego. Może coś jeszcze nam powie. Ma tu...
Goodbye, Mr.
To
Peterson.
będzie spróbować gdzieś znaleźć dwójkę. Dobra, chodźmy jeszcze do niego.
Fancy buying some?
You never...
Dobra, przyspieszmy. Nie będę na ich pogawędkach tracić czasu. O, mamy kolejną
Joe
książkę.
Peterson. He's the villain here, isn't he? But you seem to know each other.
I've known Joe for years. I saw him box once or twice. He was a friend then. But these days, he's just another thug.
Stał się zbirem.
What can you tell me about Mr. Peterson?
Coś czuję, że będę ganiać teraz od jednego do drugiego, bo się będę na zmianę dowiadywać o nich.
Decent boxer, good one even. But after his wife passed away, he found every excuse to stop training. Just wanted to pick fights with everyone.
Without making excuses for him, it's safe to say that despair can poison even the sanest mind.
We've all had some rough times, ain't we? But most of us don't use our fists to see us through.
And no one has ever stood up to this thug.
Nobody would be fool enough to stand against a wet boot boy.
Mokry kalusz, mokry kalusz. Ble. Dobra. Czyli tak, wskazówki nam się nie odblokowały. To było na 4.
Goodbye for now, Mr.
Zobaczmy
Peterson.
sobie jeszcze tylko kobietę. Gdzieś tu ona się kręciła. Albo na książuchu. Jaki on ma poziom hipnozy.
Good evening, Mr. Whittaker.
It's far.
Dobra. Sprawy. A ten już aż 5, no kurczę.
Have you any friends? Any family left in these terrible times?
No. But I have a disciple I see as my son. He is so devoted. I sent him to preach the good word in the heart of this corrupted city.
Where did you send him?
I sent Samuel to the Stonebridge Cemetery, where the pestilence and evil grows night after night.
You sent him on some
Nowe.
preaching crusade during the
Coś
epidemic.
dużo
As a
śledztw
true
mamy.
believer,
To
Samuel
jest urok
will
tego, że ja
fear
gadam ze
no evil
wszystkimi.
while he walks through the valley of the shadow of death.
Wróć. Tu nic nie mamy. Osobiste pytania nie mamy.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital?
To chyba się
I'd like to
pytałam,
know more
ale co
about
tam?
her.
I don't like the liberal ideas of nurses, but I especially abhor that Nurse Crane you mentioned.
Why do you hate Nurse Crane more than other nurses?
Before coming to London, she was a
Dobra,
member of
szybciej
the
gadajcie.
communist resistance in her country. That's what
Ja się sama
happens when you let
zanudzę
a
na tych
woman get
dialogach.
involved in politics.
O,
So you're not exactly a
Kolejna
fan of
wskazówka
Florence
od Dorothy.
Nightingale's work. But nurses are essential for modern healthcare.
Nuns should be the only women allowed to take care of male patients. It's obvious only they have the necessary moral fibre.
tu się nic nie robi. Dobra. Żegnamy?
I have had enough for tonight. Goodbye.
Jezu. Ja w inną stronę, kamera w inną. Dobra, gdzieś tu była ta facetka. Kobito, chodź. Muszę sprawdzić, jaki masz poziom hipnozy.
Good evening, Christina.
Dobra. R4. Wysoko. To nie.
Goodbye, miss. Take care of yourself as best you can.
Jeszcze tamtego dziennikarza. A, sprawdźmy.
There is something going on in this. Good evening, Doctor.
Dobra. R4. No kurczę.
Christina Popper claims she sells her body because she can't find any other work. Do you believe her?
Of course I do. Her story is exactly what I want my readers to understand. We live in an intolerant and divided nation.
Do you think things will ever change, Mr. Darby?
I believe the situation can only improve. And now that women can vote, I'm convinced things will change.
Goodbye, Mr. Darby. Farewell.
Potrzebuję hipnozy spróbować na kimś. Gdzie ja lecę? Dobra, nie w tą stronę całkiem. Nie chcę tam iść. Mam się dostać, ale ja chciałam najpierw do warsztatu naszego, czyli to gdzieś tu w bok. Ech, ta moja orientacja w terenie.
Hello, young man. I'm Dr. Reed, and I would like to ask you a few questions. May I enter, please?
Sorry, no, sir. My father does not like people entering our house, you see.
Your father is worried about you, boy. He asked me to look for you.
So my father actually worries about me then? Okay then. Come on in. I'm Harry, by the way. Is there only pain and suffering in this world?
Dom Petersonów. No to standardowo. Mały rabunek, pogadajmy z nim.
So, may I ask you a few questions?
I'm not bothered. What could be worse?
O, standardowa.
How do you feel?
I'm fine. I mean, it's not easy every day, but I'm fine. I'm just tired of being sick all the time. If only I could be tough like... Well, you know.
Speaking of
Matka,
which,
jaki on niemrawy.
what can you tell me about your father?
My father is an idiot who makes idiot things. That's all I have to say.
Hello, facet, więcej życia.
Forgive my bluntness, young man, but you don't seem happy living in Whitechapel.
Why should I? I never wanted to come here in the first place. It was my father's decision. And look around you. Does this look like a nice place to live?
I'm sure your father did his best when he found this house. Times are tough for everyone, young man.
That's exactly what my father says. Harry, you should be grateful for what you've got. I wasn't even consulted when we moved here.
If life here is so terrible for you, why don't you just leave this place? Have you ever spoken to your father about it?
I don't go outside. It terrifies me so. I went outside once without my father noticing and I saw terrible things. Bloody and frightening things.
So that's why you stay at home all day? For fear of the epidemic?
I'm not afraid of disease or death, Dr. Reed. It's the living I'm afraid of.
Aha, życie go przeraża. Oj, nie mam środka na zmęczenie.
Your father and Mr. Lewis used to be good friends. What happened, Harry?
I was young then. I don't remember Mr. Lewis ever coming back again after my mother died. Or was it after my father started bullying him? I don't know.
Have you tried speaking to Mr. Lewis about it?
I don't go out often, but yes. And he scolded me and told me to leave him alone. I guess my father frightens him too much.
But you are not responsible for your father's actions.
Am I not?
Ciekaw jestem, jaki ma
Dad always says
wskaźnik
that he joined that
hipnozy.
gang for my safety. So if I wasn't born, people wouldn't be
myślisz?
worrying about Colossus Joe.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
Yes, I know her. She came here to examine me when I was very sick. She said I should go out more.
Dobra, sprawdźmy hipnozę. 1-1, jupi! Nie, no nie będę gryzła.
Even my dreams are soaked with gloom.
Myślałam, że coś więcej mogę zrobić. No nie, no stanął tak, że się nie da dojść.
Is there only pain and suffering in this world?
Zobaczmy, czy coś tu jeszcze mają fajnego.
It's locked.
I zablokowanka skrzynka. Bójmy się. Dobra, spadajmy stąd.
Cheap price, good quality. Come on, take a look. Don't be afraid. Cheap price, good quality. Come on, take a look. Don't be afraid.
Który wskaźnik w dzielnicy? No, monetki tu są. Jesteśmy chyba w kryjówce, ale chyba. No chyba tak, bo tutaj biłam się ostatnio. No dobra. Mamy stół. Dobra, to na przeróbkę. Im wyższy wskaźnik hipnozy, tym łatwiej możemy na kogoś wpłynąć. Jeżeli ja na to nie hipnotyzowałam ludzi, którzy byli na samym początku, co mieli wartość 1, to teraz, jak będę chciała z kogoś na przykład krew wyssać, to będę miała problem, bo mają wyższy wskaźnik niż ja. Tu brakuje. brakuje, tu brakuje. Aha, straciłam właśnie roztwór. Dobra. To zrobione. Mamy 1000 punktów. Nawet tak źle nie wygląda. Moim zdaniem chociaż. Teraz tak. W co inwestujemy? Stan zdrowia zwiększamy, sprawność, ugryzienie. A może atak? Tu jest koszt brak. Ile to kosztuje? 600. Kto będzie lepszy na wyższym poziomie niż teraz? 1300, serio? Ale pochłonie 2 uderzenia. Co? A, 10. poziom. A my mamy 9. Czyli to będzie niedługo. Może szpony się uda zwiększyć, to będzie najlepsze. 2000 punktów. Żartują chyba. To już wolę tak, tu na stan zdrowia podnieść. Stan zdrowia. Wytrzymałość. Już po 600. Zwiększa absorpcję. 300, ok. Zostało nam 390 punktów. Tu już nie dam. To mnie nie interesuje. Może uleczenie? 300, dobra. Okej. Potwierdźmy. Dobra, co my tu mamy? Temu środek na zmęczenie, dziennikarzowi. Temu środek na zmęczenie, na migrenę nie znam takiego środka, a temu na zapalenie oskrzeli. Okej. Tylko co z tego, że ja wezmę, go ugryzę? Chyba że spróbujemy. Kasia, co ty na to? Próbujemy młodziaka ugryźć? A da się przespać? Nie. O, 11 poziom automatycznie wbiliśmy. To ładnie. O! Okej. Rusz tyłek! No nie. I w kryjówce zdechłam, kurczę. Dobre. Wiem, że zabito mnie. Nie musicie mi o tym przypominać. No nie no, dajmy... Spróbujmy ich zabić. No, przecież klikam, żebyś walnął debila. Sam się położył. Dobra. Ale jedną rzecz potrzebuję sprawdzić. Tylko gdzie to było? Chyba tutaj. Co my mamy za broń? 65, 75. A chyba jednak pójdę jeszcze do handlarza. To ma 110, 190. To absorpcja. O, broń 160. Broń i moduły. Dobra. Broń i moduły. A jakich użyć? Dobra, wejdźmy z tego. Jak ja tego nie lubię. Samymi dźwiękami idzie się przestraszyć. Tu mamy zablokowane. Momentami mam wrażenie, że się świeci coś. Znowu ci. Okej, to powalczymy i zginiemy pewnie.
Sorry, sir, no admittance.
Nic nie zrobili. O kurde, co to jest? Gryź. Co to za bestia? Ludzie! No walnij go! To jest jakaś kpina. To już nawet bestie chodzą? Coś czuję, że się pogubiłam. Dokładnie. Teraz tak. Jakby tu wrócić? Spróbujmy. No cofnij się, żebyś mógł tam skoczyć. Kto tam krzyczy, że zamknięte? Dla mnie jest otwarte. Oby tych tylko nie było znowu. Dzięki, Kasia, ale to była słabsza wersja tamtego bossa, co wcześniej walczyliśmy. Dobra, ich tu nie ma. Dobra, pamiętać. Tymi drzwiami nie wychodzić. Może to są właściwe. No tak. I to nie zginęłam. Dobra, sprawdźmy, czy w dobrą stronę. No dobra, jestem po dobrej stronie już. Wejdźmy do chłopaka, dajmy mu leczenie. I Kasia, co? Próbujemy na nim hipnozę i pijemy krew?
Sure. Sure. Is there only pain and suffering in this world?
So, may I ask you a few questions?
I'm not bothered.
Nic nam tu nie doszło. O!
Would it ease tensions with your father if he got an honest job? Because he tried, you know.
I can't say. I'd be glad if he dropped his thuggish activities, but I'm not sure it would be enough.
Why is that?
Sometimes I suspect it's me, Dr. Reed. Or it's this life.
Pijemy z niego
It's like I
krew,
can't
czy
find
nie?
my place.
Co wy na to?
Do you need any medical help, young man?
Yes, I do. I feel so tired. I don't know if it's the epidemic, but everything seems so hard.
You'll feel better with this. But you need to get a grip, young man. Medication alone won't cure melancholia.
I'm not sure I'm happy with the idea of
Yeah?
living long in a world like this. But I thank you for your concern, sir.
Do you need any medical help, young
Nie
man?
to.
I'm feeling okay.
Kto jest za tym, by ugryźć go? Dobra.
Death is
Szkoda,
so
że go
cold.
zabił.
I hoped it would be more meaningful.
To ja wolę jednak nie używać hipnozy. Jak ona tylko morduje.
Fancy buying something, sir?
You never lose your focus, do you? Do you know of Harry Peterson? The boy seems so fragile, not like his father at all.
Harry's a good boy, but he spends most of his time complaining. He's had it tough, all right, but he needs to grow a pair.
What troubles him exactly?
Well, despite being his father's son, almost everything, I think. He never wanted to come to Whitechapel in the
Najpierw
first
go
place.
zabiłam, a teraz się
Hates this
pytam o
place
niego.
more than most of us.
Ale patrzcie, nawet poziom hipnozy nie wzrósł. Git z tym. Dajmy, dobijmy targu,
Show me what
zobaczymy.
you have.
A skąd mam wiedzieć, co teraz mi jest potrzebne? Dobra, może innym razem pohandlujemy.
Cheap price, good quality.
Dobra.
Come on,
idziemy.
take a look. Don't be afraid.
One way or another. You again?
Co chcę znowu? Nic takiego. Aż 3.
Why is your
Ale
relationship
chyba
with
przez
your son
morderstwo
so
straciłam
difficult?
trochę
Harry
danych.
and I are so different. Sometimes I wonder if he's my own blood. Seems he's ashamed to be my son.
Why not change that then? If you used your strength to do good, perhaps Harry wouldn't feel that way about you.
How dare you tell me what I should or shouldn't do with my boy? Who the fuck are you to interfere like that?
I don't doubt your motives. I'm certain you simply wish to provide for your family.
No, ja
But
tylko
this
po krew.
desire might be the cause of your misery.
I don't think I like your attitude, sir. In fact, I'm starting to dislike your face so much, I might try to improve it, see?
I'd like to see you try, Colossus.
Ale można powiedzieć, że ja trochę
In the
się
meantime, are
upodabniam
you
do
sure I
wampira.
can't be of any help to
Sok
your son?
wiśniowy to też
I am a
czerwony.
doctor, remember?
Never. Harry's complicated. Fragile, you could say. Doesn't mingle with strangers. Now leave us alone.
Why do you keep on working for the gang, Joe? You know it doesn't suit you.
It's true, I hate this job. And I know I made some bad choices, but I'm a wet boot boy now, and people won't forget it.
You could leave tomorrow. Start another life in another town.
That's easy for you to say, Doctor. We are poor. My son's weak, and there's no way he'll endure another disappointment.
Harry doesn't seem happy living in Whitechapel. Why did you make him come here?
I've always put my son's interests above everything else, whatever he may think. Our house is small but affordable. The walls are thin, but the door is solid.
You really love your son, don't you, Mr. Peterson?
He's my pride and joy. Even if he hates me for the choices I make and pushes me
Szkoda
back
tylko,
more
że
than he
się
should.
dowie, że jego syn nie żyje.
Do you have any regrets?
Only one. Not to have my beloved wife by my
Jak się
side.
dowie, wolałabym nie być
She
koło
died
niego.
when Harry was little. My sweet Jane. She gave the boy confidence.
Since the criminal nature of your job means you could be arrested, are you not afraid of what would happen to your boy if you were?
No one will ever take my son away from me. If that ever occurred, I'd hunt the bastard down and rip off his head with my bare hands.
Ale zdrowy, aż 3000 punktów. Żegnamy?
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
Fajnie by było tak łatwo zarabiać punkty, ale szkoda mi ludzi zabijać. Dobra. Bójmy się.
Mr. Petrescu, just 1 minute, please.
You again? Go away.
Nie. No, wymaga poziomu drugiego hipnotyzmu.
Sir, wait. Stop this nonsense. I know
Że
Nurse
tak
Crane
powiem,
is
to
here.
jesteśmy udupieni.
Shall we speak man to man, you and I?
All right. Speak up.
Don't you see we're on the same side? We fight to help the poor, sick, and abandoned.
I'm nothing like you, Mr. Doctor.
Yes, you are. You too believe in providing medical care without charge. You know what we have to sacrifice to make the world a better place.
I have to admit your words have conviction. All right, I'll let you see Dorothea. Don't make me regret this, though.
No ale panie, ja chcę panu dać lekarstwo. Gdzie pan zwiał? Nic tu nie zgarnę. A, tu jesteś, panie.
If you want to talk to Dorothea, you must go across the courtyard and take the stairs.
We've not been formally introduced. May I ask your name and occupation, sir?
I am Darius Petrescu. I'm here to keep snitches and spies away from Dorothea. And I also run this little print shop.
Dobra.
So Dorothy's real name is
Trochę
not
informacji
Crane.
nam sprzeda.
Like myself and many people in this area, Dorothea is from occupied Romania. That's all you need to know.
She seems important to the community.
More than you can imagine. The West End does not want to hear of Whitechapel's misery. Dorothea is one of the few doing something about it.
Did you refuse to publish Richard Nethercott's previous works, Darius?
Yes, his manuscript is as pompous as he is starched. Now there's a man who loves the sound of his own voice.
You could have told him so.
As a great writer recently said, politeness is the most acceptable hypocrisy.
Tell me everything you know about Camellia, the mute florist.
I do not believe in the afterlife, Doctor, but I'm almost
Zobaczmy, czy można jakoś
convinced Camellia is
rozwinąć tę
an
hipnozę, nie
angel.
mordując
She
ludzi.
volunteered to give out our medical leaflets.
Are you not worried for her safety?
She is as brave as she is tough, and clever too. If only I had met her when I was younger.
Are you in love with Camellia, Mr. Projescu?
Don't be stupid. If I had met her when I was younger, we could have won our revolution.
Who is she, really? Do you know where she's from?
She's not from around here, that's all we know. Camellia is not even her name. It's her favorite flower.
You say she has no close family.
Well, there's that awful poet who constantly follows her around like a lost puppy. A good man for sure, but a very poor writer.
Szczeniaczek. Wróć.
Tell me everything you know about Camellia, the mute florist.
I do not believe in the afterlife, Doctor, but I'm almost convinced Camellia is an angel. She volunteered to give out our medical leaflets.
Okej, przecież dodawałam.
Do you have any family left, Mr. Petrescu? Children or grandchildren?
Who knows? I have abandoned my people for so long, they might as well be dead. As dead as I am for them, I suppose.
This war won't last forever. Did you ever think of returning to your country now it's free?
No. I have taught strength and determination to my sons and daughters. I'm an old, dying man who only has memories of better times to cherish.
Don't be embarrassed, sir.
If you must know, my own father disappeared many years ago, and I forgave him.
It's quite awkward to talk about our families like this, but thank you, Dr. Reed. I appreciate your trust.
Zaufanie? Okej.
I know you fought for your country when it was occupied, Darius. Tell me more about it.
Dzięki za
I know
obecność.
my days
Trzymaj
are
się,
numbered,
Kasiu.
and I know I won't see my homeland again. But I fought for Romania all my life, and I will until my last breath.
But Romania escaped the grasp of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. It's a free country again.
But it's not the country I fought for. My homeland is not appeased, Doctor. And I still see a dark future ahead for my people.
How did you meet Nurse Crane, Darius? Why does she trust you?
I'm her oldest friend in England. Dorothea and I share many ideas about this country and about the country we left.
You mean occupied Romania, don't you? Even if not directly, I fought against your enemies.
Really? Then perhaps you have more in common with Dorothea than meets the eye, Dr. Reed.
To było osobiste, teraz tak badanie.
Do you need some
Kogoś
help,
potrzebuję?
Mr. Petrescu?
I am very tired, but that is all. I don't need you, Doctor.
Well, I think you do. Take this, and you'll feel better.
Free drugs from an English doctor. It must be my lucky day.
Nic więcej?
Tell me everything you know about Camellia, the mute florist.
I do not believe in the afterlife, Doctor, but I'm almost convinced Camellia is an angel. She volunteered to give out our medical leaflets.
Ciekawe, czemu on nie robi się na szaro.
Goodbye, Mr. Petrescu.
Dostał lek. Teraz tak, jeszcze tak szukamy. Co tu mamy? Ciekawe, skąd te szlingi nam wpadły. Zamknięte. Dobra, kolejne środki. To chyba tam tymi drzwiami musimy iść. Odbieramy. Był zamknięty obszar, więc odblokujmy. Dobra, tędy weszłam, to idziemy tu. Boże, jaka muzyka.
What do we have here, nurse?
Patient Raz Van Vasily. High fever running on 3 days. Complaints of dizziness, muscle aches, and head pain. Diagnosed with influenza.
Treatment?
Aspirin and salicin for the fever and discomfort. Liquids for dehydration, but he's having trouble keeping even water down.
Thank you, nurse. Anything else I should know?
He did lose consciousness this morning, but he's never had convulsions like these.
He's not convulsing, he's choking. He's not getting any air. Scalpel! Hand me that scalpel!
What can I do, Doctor?
Na żywca?
I need to perform a tracheostomy. Short pipe. That rubber tube will do. We're going to cut a passage for air through the neck.
Yes, Doctor. He's breathing again, but he's coughing up blood.
Internal hemorrhaging. I need to make another incision into the chest cavity to drain the fluids from the lung. Prepare another tube.
A thoracostomy. Doctor, we've nothing to fight the infection. We need an aseptic environment.
Right then, Nurse Crane. What do you suggest we do?
I've no idea. I'm not the doctor.
Time is of the essence. We need to perform a thoracic drain.
Yes, Doctor. He's still bleeding, Doctor. I'm losing his pulse.
Po czym ona
The drain
stwierdza
must have
tętno?
punctured the intercostal artery. There's too much blood.
Are you all right, Doctor?
I can't see. I must first suture the artery. Find the wound. The source of the blood.
Needle and thread, Doctor.
Good. The stitches are holding. How's he doing?
We're losing him. We've lost his pulse. He's dying, Doctor.
Cardiac massage, now.
Cardiac... What? Are you making this up as you go along?
No, a jak? Nie znam się na medycynie.
We've lost the pulse. He's gone, Doctor.
Nurse, we did everything we could.
Truly? Everything you could. Is that how you'll report this in your log? Is this how the war went? Piling up one poor corpse beside the next?
This was not an influenza-induced seizure. I've never seen symptoms like these on the continent.
Neither have I. But the previous symptoms leading up to this attack were the same, indistinguishable from the epidemic.
No. There was something more vile in these reactions. Something primitive.
There have been numerous reports of mental breakdowns caused by the fever that accompanies the flu itself, Doctor.
Yes, but... I'd best take some samples of the blood for analysis.
Okay.
I doubt you're here to test my bedside manners. To what do I owe this courtesy?
Dobra, najpierw...
I suspect it was more than intuition alone that led you to us. So, How might I be of service, Dr. Reed?
I've come to put an end to this insufferable blackmailing, Dorothy.
Doctor, you think your warnings scare me? I've stolen and plied, blackmailed and lied, but what else am I to do? I'm all these people have.
Dr. Swansea is a sensible and honest man. He wouldn't have refused your friend's care at Pembroke.
It's easy for you to say, Doctor. These people cannot go to the police, nor to the hospital. They don't even speak English. They depend on me for everything.
But why Lady Ashbury? Why her, of all people?
She's pristine and proper, all right. But that she-wolf in sheep's clothing murders the poor for sport. I have her where she belongs, and I'll milk her for all she's got.
So, the end justifies the means. Is that your defense?
I know you're kind, Doctor. Just another fine-heeled, silver-spooned gentleman who was given the world on a platter. You know nothing of poverty. Nothing of the shame, the hunger, the loneliness.
You've convinced me of the sincerity of your actions and their noble justifications. But all the same, blackmail is a crime, and it will stop, Nurse Crane.
So, are you going to turn me over to the authorities?
No. Your place is here. Jailing you would be an even greater crime. So, here is my proposition. I'll look the other way on your little enterprise. In exchange, you will resign from the Pembroke Hospital and provide me with medical supplies when the need arises.
Dr. Reed! That sounds like a business proposition. My accomplice, then?
No, just a privileged client. My research may require the occasional rare piece of equipment or ingredient. I'll pay good coin in exchange, fair and honest, to help finance your noble endeavors.
We have ourselves a deal, Doctor. Good customers are always welcome.
Yes, Nurse Crane. We have a deal.
Nowy poziom? Zamknięte. To do zgarnięcia. Okej. I mamy problemy.
He's mine! It ain't human! Filthy piece of shit!
Co ty tu robiłeś w ogóle? Nagle ludzie się zmyli? Ciekawe.
Step away, sir.
Good evening, miss.
Good evening, sir. Are you interested in a
Cześć,
miraculous
Aro.
cure for this unknown and deadly epidemic?
Actually, I am.
Then you have come to the right place. The famous Swanborough cordial is
A
all
teraz
you need to
lepiej,
help keep
bo
you in
trochę zsiadłam
perfect
dalej.
Oh, really? Why
Zapomniałam,
didn't
że
I hear
wykrywał
about it
słabo
during my
łapie.
studies? I'm Jonathan Reed, by the way. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Ah, my brother has spoken of your research, sir. I'm Loretta Swanborough, and it's always a pleasure to meet a fellow healer.
Tell me, who intrigues you most in Whitechapel?
The region itself is something to see, but I would say
Dawno cię, Aro, nie
Canary, the
widziałam.
mute florist who gives away her flowers.
Widziałam, że odcinki z Assassina nagrywasz.
What do you think of the locals?
Most of them are afraid or desperate. They all come to me eventually for my remedy.
Okej, dzięki za informację.
Is there anyone I should avoid?
Cadogan Bates,
Albo po
without a
prostu
doubt.
muszę nowy
The bloody
mikrofon lepszy
bastard
kupić.
remorselessly exploits poor migrants as soon as they get here.
Jakimś cudem drugi poziom zdobyłam, okej. Ta jest zdrowa, no to żegnamy.
Goodbye, Miss Swanborough. Perhaps we'll talk again.
The Swanborough cordial can be the answer to all your problems.
Fajnie
As
słychać,
long
jak
as you
deszcz
have the
pada.
money.
Good evening, Benjamin. Can I help you?
I'm afraid not, Mr. Reed.
Już jego twarzy nie widzę. Nie mam środka na migrenę.
A gun, alcohol, and a bad temper make a terrible cocktail, sir. Goodbye for now.
Nie, no zaglądam do ciebie od czasu do czasu, coś tam zobaczę, co robisz. Łapeczkę zostawiam. Ej, bo zaraz znowu źle pójdę. Muszę tu iść.
All the good boys join the army and the scum turn criminals. A shame.
Okej. Dobrze, idę? Dobrze. A jak tam jakieś okazje na czarnym piątku wykorzystałeś, czy nie? Wiesz, wystarczy, że napiszesz, żebym weszła na głosowy, to wejdę, nie ma problemu.
Human blood. Whoever left these marks did so deliberately.
Dobra, w prawo.
Kill it, boy!
O kurde! Nie, 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 nie! bij go! Kurde, trzech? Nie, 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 nie. Bij go, no! Dobra, jeden z głowy. Kuźwa, nie! Więcej ich być nie może? Czemu ja się zawsze w coś pakuję na koniec? Aj! Okej, tego muszę zabić. No. Że jak on ma opóźnienie. I facet. Dobra. Jeszcze ten został. Nie, bijemy, bijemy. No bij go, człowieku. Żyje? Oh my god. Ja kupiłam sobie kilka takich gierek dla relaksu. Zresztą wiesz, ja wolę przygodówki. Niż jakieś wymagające. Oż w mordkę. A tutaj nie ma w ogóle przejścia. Niżej jest skleroza. Gdzie ja wskoczyłam? Kryjówkę odblokowałam. Czemu ta kryjówka jest rozbebeszona? A, takie buty. Ale powiem ci, że dobrze wyglądasz po obcięciu włosów. podstawowy atak. Tysiąc. Dobra, stać mnie. Zobaczymy tą bestię. Tak się tego boję. No tak, po cichu obserwuję. Dobra, pod kościołem. Na migrenę nie mam, na zmęczenie nie wiem, gdzie ty facet jesteś. Na zmęczenie. Dziennikarz. Okej. Powiem ci, że ciężko co niektórych znaleźć teraz. Ludzie się trochę porozchodzili, co niektórzy porezygnowali chyba.
This is despicable.
Nie zniszczę. Ale lipa. Trzeba by było przejść tam mu pomóc. Ale to chyba nie da rady. No, chyba, że tu. No nie, musiał skoczyć. Aha, po bestii ciężko z kontrolą. No chyba tak właśnie. Dawno nie widziałam, żeby coś robił. No to dobrze. Agenci nawet nie poszli mu na pomoc, ale służba. Wszystko zebrałam, czy jeszcze coś? Okej. Teraz tak, czy ja dobrze idę? Nie, zaraz się znów gdzieś wpindzielę. Nawet rymujesz. Mnie też denerwuje, ale mimo wszystko coś jeszcze robię. Zobaczymy, jak to potem będzie, bo niby może być problem z tym, z upublicznianiem gameplayów. Będę się bić, czy nie? Oto pytanie jest. Zdewastowali pokój. Nieładnie. Tylko 2 uderzenia i po nich. Ale kiszka. Jakieś szylingi wpadły. Okej. O, nowa wskazówka. Do szpitala muszę się udać. Tu mamy zdarzenie. Też trzeba by było się wybrać. Ale to już na przyszłym live'ie.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Such a pleasure to see you again.
Tell me the truth about your appointment as a medic during the war, Rakesh.
The regiment administration appointed me by mistake. I had to learn the job on the spot, sir. Very hard, sir, but I rose to the challenge.
Do you realize how many soldiers died because of that decision? You should have refused.
Yes, sir. I swear I did, sir. But no one listened. When the first wounded arrived, I had to do what I could.
It is an unbelievable story, Mr. Chidori.
It was a time beyond belief, Dr. Reed. But I'm happy not to deal with the wounded. I prefer caring for the dead now.
You can't impersonate a doctor. You can't improvise a medical education. People could die at your hands.
You're absolutely right, sir. But as a field surgeon, it was more like being a butcher.
Do you believe you have really helped these people?
My ratings were within the averages of the regiment. I saved lives, Dr. Reed. Does that not say enough about triage and war surgery?
Are you afraid or uneasy being surrounded by so many corpses?
Why should I? These bodies are empty vessels. Flesh left to decay. Poof. No soul anymore. All gone.
No wiadomo, jaka forma.
Do you need medical attention?
Well, the proximity of the dead is not the
A
most
tego
healthy
filmiku to
company,
pewnie nie widziałam.
even if the quiet can be appreciated.
Częściej oglądam Ziemniaka niż T-Volta.
Don't take too many risks with your health, Mr. Chidana. None of us are immune to this disease.
And that is a good thing. Death and disease is a constant reminder of our mortality. But you have my thanks, Dr. Reed.
Goodbye, Mr. Chidana.
Dobra, sobie skrzynkę. No nie wezmę skrzynki. Zablokowana. Gdzieś tu powinna być. Chyba nie z tej strony ona jest. No ostatnio oglądałam jak VR-a polecał. Fajna zabawka, tylko no kurde strasznie droga.
Good evening, Dr. Tippett.
Dr. Reed, any good news to share?
Nic nowego, osobiste pytanie, nic nowego. Zdrowy, żegnam.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett. Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor.
Admit it. Nurse Hawkins is more than your lover. She's also your partner in crime.
Of course she is. How else could I tell which bed is free?
Nie stać mnie na takie luksusy.
Have you no shame?
Don't you see the city is crumbling down? Today people are ready to pay to get a hospital bed. Tomorrow we may be fighting for food.
Chociaż zagrałabym kilka gier VR, żeby
money from some of the
sprawdzić, jak to
patients
jest.
If a patient wants a bed, he'll have to
Ale
pay
mówię,
me a
za
little
droga
fee.
impreza.
That's all.
Where did you get the
Za tą
idea for
kasę to
such
bym
an
mogła
immoral
jakiegoś
scam?
głuchocika
Funny
sobie
you should
do
ask.
jeżdżenia.
The first time it was from a patient who bribed me to get a bed. It's only then I realized I could make a fortune.
Do you need any medical help, Milton?
I'm afraid I do. Like everyone in this hospital. It's a sad state of affairs when even the hospital workers are worried about disease.
Our job brings us into contact with all kinds of infections, Milton. There's no shame in being ill while you're in a hospital.
A co to
That's easy
jest?
for you to say, Doctor.
Bo nie słyszałam.
I get the feeling you don't fall sick often. Well, thanks anyway.
Goodbye, Milton.
I would ask you to avert your eyes, sir. Or did you not know it was rude to stare?
I knew it.
Speak up, Dr. Reed. I like a man who speaks his mind.
Hiding your true appetites behind a facade of compassion. Bravo. Very clever indeed.
Spare me your sarcasm, Jonathan. You are but newly born in this world.
We are vampires. We live by leeching the blood from weaker prey. We are Darwin's next chapter. His cynical and perhaps ultimate expression.
The situation is somewhat awkward nonetheless. I have not been observed sustaining myself for many decades. I have to say I'm a trifle embarrassed.
Anyway, I have concluded my inquiries concerning your
Arał, a to nie było też u ziemniaka teraz na tym filmiku z VR? Ta gra?
Under normal circumstances, I wouldn't let anyone see me in this
Bo jeżeli
condition.
tak, to wiem o czym mówisz. Ale on to bardzo polecał.
Unfortunately, I could not bring myself to do it.
Że włącza się jakąś muzykę i właśnie usuwasz takie kostki ze
Lady
szczałkami.
Ashbury, you yourself admitted how ridiculous the sum of money was. I can assure you it was all used for charitable ends.
Well, you are full of surprises, aren't you, Jonathan? All right, say I trust you, but you will still pay the ransom. That is only fair. After all, it was you who failed to bring this problem to a satisfactory conclusion.
I believe I could agree to that.
And since a lady always keeps her promises, I will now answer any questions you may have.
No dobra.
Why does Dr. Swansea allow you to feed on the patients of the hospital?
Dr. Swansea is a good and compassionate man. He is trying to find a solution for our hunger. Until that happens, he is clever enough to understand that I only feed upon the dying.
What do you know about this Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole?
The Brotherhood is well known amongst London vampire society. As long as our kind is discreet, and as long as they do not interfere, we have come to a mutual
Inna sprawa jest
understanding.
taka, że na VR trzeba mieć miejsce.
And no one suspected you of the murders.
As you
Jak się
well
nie ma za
know,
dużo miejsca, to się nie opłaca
suspicion
nawet
has recently
inwestować
fallen
w
on
niego.
me of killing for pleasure. But you have my word, Jonathan. I take no pleasure in taking a life.
Why did you save me in the canning factory?
I could hardly stand by and watch such a promising young blood as yourself be torn to shreds by some gutter scalp.
William Bishop wasn't the vampire that created me then.
No, Jonathan. Whatever their strength and demeanor, Skulls are the progeny of careless vampires. It cannot be the other way round.
What type of vampire is a Skull?
Not a true vampire.
Dokładnie.
The deformed offspring of lesser vampires. It is a shame these creatures run wild, slaves to
No
their
ale mówię,
baser
z chęcią bym
instincts.
spróbowała Powera.
I know this is beyond the pale.
Może
but
kiedyś
may
będzie
I
mi dane.
inquire your age?
Really? And I thought you were gentlemen. If you must know, I'm 27. I've been 27 for a long time now, and 27 I shall remain.
Spryciula.
Very well. But I believe there is more to this than you are saying.
A lady has to have some secrets.
And who bestowed upon you this eternal youth?
My maker. He left this isle a long time ago.
I've been hearing a voice talking in my head. Is this some kind of insanity? It feels like the voice of the vampire that created me.
Hush. Tell no one this. It would be unwise to talk of such things amongst British immortals. Speak no more of your maker.
Może się wybiorę, nie wiem, zobaczę.
How could this cause offense?
Only the powerful immortals can mentally call to their progeny. No vampire or hunter will sleep easy, knowing that an unidentified elder is stalking the streets of London.
Excuse my forwardness, but are you my maker?
Me? Goodness, no. Only a foolish immortal would create a progeny without taking precaution, and I'm no fool.
I don't understand. Why was I created and then left for dead?
That is a question only the one who made you can answer. It's not normal practice. I doubt even if you find him, he will answer you, considering how cruelly he treated you.
So me being a vampire could have been a mistake.
I very much doubt it, Jonathan. Contrary to the legends, it is not as simple to make another vampire by just biting someone.
I'd like to avoid creating another vampire by mistake anyway. Tell me, how is it done?
The process is dangerous. It could even kill your potential progeny. If you did decide to sire an offspring, they must drink of your blood, Jonathan.
Aha. Czyli tradycyjnie wymiana krwi.
A vampire? Is that what I am? What we are?
Such a crude word, defined by penny dreadfuls and drunken hacks. No. You are now
No chyba nie aż tak źle.
And that you shall remain.
Are you an Ekon too?
Yes, I am. We are the closest thing to what man refers to as vampires. Forget what you think you know about us.
So we are Ekons. How can I identify us amongst other vampires?
How to put it? All Ekon are vampires. But all vampires are not Ekon. We are but a branch of the immortal tree.
I've been away from London and England for 3 years. This isn't the city I remember.
Things have gone from bad to worse here, Jonathan.
A który Deadpool ci się podobał bardziej, jedynka czy dwójka?
I've never seen it like this.
The Spanish flu has hit London that bad.
Yes, but it's not just that. I've heard things. Things I've not heard for a very, very long time. There are whispers in the shadows. Something far worse than the Spanish flu is here in the city.
Sam byś na pewno w jakimś cosplayu się pojawił tam.
What is it you fear?
Fear has long since flown this form. But there is something malevolent circling us. I feel fear is merely waiting in the wings.
Are there many vampires here in London?
Immortals are of a rare breed, and we often tend to hide. But you may occasionally meet some of us at night.
Do you know any of them? Have you an idea of the identity of the vampire who attacked me?
You mean your maker? No, Jonathan, I have no clue. But I fear he or she is as careless as cruel. To let you discover your new condition by yourself.
What do you mean?
Every now and then, you may discover an immortal in the deep of the night. But we are a rare and reclusive breed. Our progeny is almost never accidental.
Will they all be as affable as you, my lady?
I do not see why not. But remember, even the shark smiles before he bites.
That sounds like a lesson from experience.
Vampire politics are as intricate and sometimes tedious as a game of chess in a gentleman's club. I've learned from experience it is best to decline to play.
When I awoke, changed, I was chased and attacked by vampire hunters. Prepared and well-trained.
Though I can't be certain.
No ja uważam, że jedynka lepsza była niż dwójka.
Glorious guard of Prewin.
Once
Dwójka
glorious,
dla mnie była taka
still
trochę już
dangerous.
naciągana.
They have seen better days, but all fanatics are dangerous. You would be wise to stay clear. They are sworn to destroy our kind.
You make them sound like some sort of cult.
More a society. And like all the best ones, a secret society. I thought them almost gone, but it seemed they have been recruiting.
Już wszystko pogadaliśmy.
I bid you farewell.
Żegnamy.
For now, my lady.
Lady.
I must quickly analyze the blood I took from Nurse Crane's patient.
Dobra. Idziemy do kryjówki i... będziemy kończyć. Tylko niech ja swoje drzwi znajdę oczywiście. Dobra, co mamy? Wytrzymałościowe. Sprawdzić. Okej. Wiesz co, ja przeważnie w weekendy robię. No, tego nie mam. Nie wiem, co mi to da. Aha, albo to, albo to. Dobra. Zwiększę zadawane obrażenia. Ja wolę ogłuszenie. Dobra. Już mamy lepszą broń. Dobra. Też już nie zrobię. Dobra. To nawet nie wiedziałam, że mogę broń ulepszać. Rzeźka krew potrzebna. Dobra.
Razvan Vasily was infected by Spanish flu, but also has the highly unstable blood of the Scows. Is the London vampire epidemic transmitted through the flu? I should talk to Dr. Swansea about it.
Wiesz, czasami tam w tygodniu jeszcze jakieś zrobię, ale no przeważnie w weekendy już robię fabułę. A jak w tygodniu, to już po prostu coś innego bym robiła. Ale to wiesz, wszystko zależy od tego, jak czuję się po pracy i o której skończę z obiadem działać. Nie, dopiero teraz odpowiadam. Dobra. Kochani, to by było na tyle. Już wychodzę. Dzięki wielkie za obecność. Do następnego razu. Trzymajcie się.